Hello, I'm Garnet. This is Eggs. Harvest Moon, Friends of Mineral Town. Harvest Moon, Friends of Mineral Town, and more Friends of Mineral Town for the Game Boy Advance are farming and life simulation games developed by Marvelous Interactive. They're part of the series known as Bokujo Monogatari in Japan, formerly localized as Harvest Moon, and currently localized as Story of Seasons. They're remakes of Harvest Moon Back to Nature for PlayStation, and have their own remake, Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town, for Switch. The story for the boy version. When you were a child, your parents took you on a trip to Mineral Town to see the country. After getting lost, an old man lets you and your family stay at his farm for a while. During your stay, you play with an unnamed little girl. Adorable. You become pen pals with the old man when you return home, but one day, years later, the letters stop. You return to Mineral Town as an adult and find out that the old man died half a year ago, and his farm is in bad shape. Mayor Thomas shows up and tells you that the old man left the farm to you. By the way, there are no more events concerning the little girl like there is in Back to Nature. Just assume she's whoever you married. I know you'll argue about that. Sorry for the girl version. You lived in the city and saw an ad in the newspaper for an amazing farm and decided to buy it. But when you arrive in Mineral Town, you see a crappy, rundown farm and realize you've been scammed. But it's too late. You've already sold everything and quit your job. You live here now. Time to make this farm amazing! Gameplay. From these points on, it's up to you to figure out how to run your farm. You'll start out with most of the farm tools you'll need. You'll be able to start growing crops. You'll want to till 3x3 squares, since the seed bags come with 9 seeds. You can't walk through crops, so make sure each square of 9 has room for you to walk around in water. For your first year, I wouldn't recommend planting more than 1 square of each available crop for each season. You won't have a lot of stamina right away, so you'll have to go to the hot spring to recover it. And upgrading tools takes several days, so it's best to wait till winter when there aren't any crops, especially when it comes to the watering can. Crops are a good source of money, but you could also go foraging for wild plants such as colored grasses. Flowers can't be shipped, but they make great gifts for some characters. If you have the time for it, fishing is something you'll want to do as well. Leveling up your fishing rod will take a while. You'll for sure need to go mining. Winter is a good time to do it since an extra mine opens up during that season, and you won't have any crops to take care of at that time. The actual mining won't take away any in-game time since the time stops or at least slows down a lot. I'm not sure if I've seen it slightly move before when I was mining. I feel like I have in one of the games where it's supposed to stop. I don't remember. But anyway, time pretty much stops, at least I know. But replenishing your stamina in the hot spring will take a lot of time. The winter mine is great because of all the pretty gems you can ship, but don't neglect the first mine. That's where you'll find materials to upgrade your tools. And since we're back on that, I like to max out level on my tools so I can jump straight to Mistral when upgrading. Mistral. No need to waste your time, money, and ores on those other upgrades. Once you've saved up a bit of money, you can buy your first farm animals. Chickens are my favorite. After you buy your first chicken, you can put her eggs in the incubator and get all the rest of your chickens for free. And they're so cute. There's also cows and sheep, which are adorable, of course. You'll be able to buy miracle potions if you want them to have babies. The products from your farm animals will increase in quality as you raise their affection by feeding, brushing, and talking to them every day. You can let them outside to eat grass you've planted if you want, but don't let them out in the rain or leave them out overnight. Wild dogs will scare them at night. If you fail to take proper care of your farm animals, they will die, and it will be sad. Be careful of storms during summer and winter. You won't be able to go outside at all during a storm, so your animals will go without food that day. Skipping food for just one day can make them unhappy, and then they might get sick. If you don't use animal medicine when they're sick, they'll die. I recommend always having a lot of animal medicines around beforehand, in case there's a storm, and then the store is closed the next day. You can also get more than one storm in a row. Your animals will have nice long lives if you take good care of them, but they will eventually die of old age anyway after a few years. Farm animals can be entered in competitions. The Chicken Festival is a sumo match. Your chicken will have to beat 3 others in order to win, and you can help it. The Cow and Sheep Festivals are less interesting, and you'll win or lose based on affection. Make sure not to shear your sheep before the festival. You can't enter sheared sheep. You'll also get a free dog. It's just kind of already there when you start. The dog can be trained with a frisbee at the beach and participate in the frisbee tournament. It can chase away wild dogs too. The dog is immortal. You'll also be given a young horse you'll need to take care of every day in order to be allowed to keep it. You can enter the horse in races, and the best part about that is that you can bet on yourself. Get your horse to a point where there's no way you'll lose, and you'll have as many medals as your little heart desires. You can exchange the medals for items that you can sell for more money. The horse is immortal. Now for a lot of people's favorite part of the game, it's also up to you on if you want to get married, when you want to get married, and who you want to get married to. There are 5 regular and 1 special bachelorettes for you to marry in the boy version, and 5 regular and 3 special bachelorettes in the girl version. It seems unfair until you actually see the special bachelors. In order to woo these characters, you'll need to talk to them and give them gifts they like as often as you can. It'll raise their love points. All characters in the game have their own set of likes and dislikes. For regular candidates, as you increase their love points, their heart color will change. The heart will start as black, then purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, and then red. Black, purple, blue, and yellow have heart events that can trigger once you reach those colors or higher, and are required for marriage. You'll need to be in specific locations at specific times for these events, which differs for each candidate. Once you've seen all the heart events, get the candidate to red heart, expand your house twice, order all the kitchen stuff and big bed from the shopping channel, and bought the blue feather from the general store, which is the usual proposal item in Bookimono. You'll be ready for marriage. That reminds me, you'll need to chop a lot of lumber for the house upgrades. Also a good winter activity. Special candidates have no visible heart, but you'll still have to raise their love points. And they have their own special requirements that make them a lot harder to marry. Be careful if you wait a long time before you get married, because the regular candidates each have someone else they could marry, called rivals. The rivals are the same as the candidates for the opposite versions. There are rival events that can trigger if you have the candidate at black, blue, green, and orange hearts or lower. If you get a candidate above the color for one of these events before triggering the event, you've successfully blocked your rival from marrying that candidate unless you end up marrying someone else. The rival events only unlock 1 year at a time, so no rival marriages can happen until year 4 or later after you've seen all 4 heart events. That's plenty of time to marry the one you want before anyone else can. After you get married to any of the marriage candidates, you'll eventually have a child. You can only have a son in the boy version and only a daughter in the girl version. You or your spouse will become pregnant after 30 days of marriage and have the child 60 days after that. The child will be a baby you can't really interact with for 60 days, and then become a toddler and crawl around on the floor a lot. You can give gifts to the toddler to raise their affection. The child will never grow any older than this. They have gift preferences, the easiest love gifts being honey and wild grapes. Characters! Let's introduce our marriage candidates. For the bachelorettes, we have Potpourri, the daughter of Lilia and some guy named Rod you'll never meet, who own a poultry farm. Rick is her brother. She helps out on her family's farm, but wishes her father would have taught her more, and that her brother wasn't so protective. She's peppy and friendly, and can be a bit childish, even showing up during the pumpkin festival to get sweets like the kids do. I mean, good for her, I want free candy too. Easy love gifts for Potpourri include eggs and weeds. You heard me. I gave her a lot of pink cats while wooing her, but she actually likes weeds more. I'm the one that likes pink cats. Your rival for Potpourri is Kai. If she marries him, she'll leave and will only come back during summer. Ellie, the town's nurse, who works with the doctor. Doctor is your rival for her. She lives with and takes care of her grandmother Ellen and little brother Stu since her parents have passed away. She's very sweet and caring and maybe a little too much of a hard worker. Easy love gifts for Ellie include pink cats and milk. Karen, the daughter of Jeff and Sasha, the owners of the supermarket where she works. To me, she gives off like cool big sister vibes or something similar to that. I don't know. She loves drinking wine and cooking, but is actually terrible at cooking to the point where it's dangerous. Easy love gifts for Karen include bamboo shoots and wine. Your rival for Karen is Rick. Anne, the daughter of Doug, who owns the inn and bar. Sadly, her mother has passed away. Anne works at the inn during the day, but Doug won't let her work at the bar. Her being tomboyish worries her father since he wants her to get married, but she likes cleaning, is a fantastic cook, and is good to the guests at the inn. Easy love gifts for Anne include spa-boiled eggs and chocolate. Your rival for Anne is Cliff. Mary, the town's librarian and daughter of Anna and Basil. She's shy and loves books, and is usually easy to find just by going to the library. Besides just liking books, she wants to be a writer. Easy love gifts for Mary include bamboo shoots and wild grapes. Your rival for Mary is Gray. Harvest Goddess, the special bachelorette who lives in the water near the hot spring. The town worships her, and you'll be rewarded for giving her offerings she likes, even if you're not trying to marry her. She can even boost your affection with any one candidate. She won't live with you if you marry her, but you can still have a child with her. Her special requirements need you to catch at least one of every fish species, ship every shippable item at least once, collect all 9 of the goddess jewels, dig up every item in both mines, be in year 5 or later, and ask Carter for permission to marry her. She loves strawberries and pineapples. She also likes flowers, crops, milk, eggs, so you should always have something good around to give her. She has no rival. Kai. He comes to Mineral Town every summer to run the seaside shack, and is gone for all the other seasons. He'll stay all year if you marry him. He's very nice and friendly, but for some reason doesn't get along well with a lot of people, one person in particular being worse than the rest. Easy love gifts for Kai include small or medium eggs and tomatoes. His special gift is pineapples, which actually isn't too hard to get. Your rival for Kai is Potpourri. Doctor, the town's doctor. You're never told any other name to call him in this game. Trent is his descendant's name, and DS cute. And in Back to Nature, Stu names a puppy Tim, which people will insist is also the doctor's name. Anyway, he's very serious and cares a lot about his job, maybe too much. Milk is the special gift for him, very easy. He also loves small fish, turnips, and a whole lot of really easy things to get. Wow. Your rival for doctor is Ellie. Rick, the son of Lilia and whoever Rod is. Potpourri is his sister. Ever since his father left, he's been doing most of the work on the poultry farm and trying to keep his mother and sister healthy and safe. He's nice and very responsible, but he's a bit stressed out. Even so, he really does love chickens and eggs. He'll be happy if you do too. His special gift is spa-boiled eggs. Apparently the bachelors have super easy gifts. He also loves every quality of eggs and chicken feed. Your rival for Rick is his childhood friend Karen. Cliff, a mysterious guy that wandered into Mineral Town. He hangs out at the church, sleeps at the inn, and will leave permanently if you don't get him the job at the winery, so be careful. He's sweet and very shy, but is pretty gloomy for a while. His easiest love gift is wild grapes. Your rival for him is Anne. Gray, an apprentice blacksmith who moved from the city to be trained by his grandfather Saibara. He comes off as a bit grumpy due to frustration with his grandfather, but he's really sweet besides that. He also enjoys reading and visits the library. Easy love gifts for Gray are eggs and branches. Your rival for Gray is Mary. One of the special bachelors, a traveling salesman who will come to your door from time to time, but also sells things where he lives at the beach. For some reason, he lives with Zach. If you're playing the girl version and befriend him, he'll let you sell things to him that you can't ship. He will live with you if you marry him. His special requirements need you to buy the base from him, see the Mix Up Apples event, unlock the ability to sell to him, unlock the Apple game. His requirements are the easiest out of all the special candidates and are going to trigger while you just woo him normally. The easiest love gift for him is gold ore. And there are several things from the winter mine that he also loves, such as rubies. No rivals. Gourmet. Another special bachelor. He only shows up once per year to judge the cooking festival. In the girl version, you can give him gifts after the cooking festival is over before he leaves at 8 p.m. His special requirements need you to win the cooking festival in all 5 categories and cook all 108 recipes at least once. It can take well over 25 in-game years to marry him, since you still need to raise his affection with gifts when you see him once per year. I've heard you can speed things up by using the teleport stone and giving him multiple gifts, but I haven't tried it. All of his loved gifts are dishes. Probably the easiest are baked sweet potatoes. His special gift is Ellie leaves. He lives with you if you marry him. No rival. Kappa! I sound so happy. A green creature from Japanese folklore that lives in the lake. Since the lake freezes in winter, in order for you to get to the lake mine, you can't see him during that season. His special requirement needs you to catch one of every species of fish, ship at least one of every shippable item, collect all 9 of the Kappa jewels, dig up every item in both mines, be in year 5 or later, tell Carter that you want to marry the Kappa, and ask for forgiveness. And when the Harvest Goddess asks you what boy you like, you need to answer that it's the Kappa. So it's almost exactly like marrying the Harvest Goddess. The only gift you can give him is cucumbers, but you can also raise his affection by walking 10,000 steps or more with the pedometer, shipping 10,000 or more of any one item, catching 10,000 of any one fish species, wow, and digging really deep into the mines. He will not live with you if you marry him, but you still somehow have a child. And yeah, no rival. That's it for the marriage candidates, but there are other characters living in Mineral Town, most of which are related in some way to the candidates. It's worth befriending these characters too. You might get something out of it. I almost forgot the Harvest Sprites. You can befriend these little rainbow dudes and ask them to work for you on your farm. Probably should have mentioned them a long time ago. Graphics. Graphic-wise, being for Game Boy Advance, I think this is a pretty cute little pixely world. Music and sounds. The song that plays in town gets so stuck in my head, makes me happy. The menus make chicken sounds, and a scary high-pitched dog whining sound startled the heck out of me when I first played. Not as thrilled with that. You might be able to change that in like a settings thing. I don't know. Replayability. Plenty replayable, particularly because the marriage candidates are so good. Do I recommend? Yes, I definitely do recommend these ones. They'll really give you a good classic Harvest Moon experience. But it might also be a good idea to get the Switch remake instead, or get both. I'll cover the remake separately, but it combines both gender versions and makes a lot of changes, most of which I'd consider to be improvements. I think I've now covered all, or at least most of the important things to know about this game now. I can really talk about Pokemono for a while, but anyway, these Game Boy Advance games are definitely something you should at least know about if you're getting into Pokemono. These and Back to Nature are so loved. If there's anything else you would like to know or say about these games, feel free to comment. And if you've enjoyed this video even a little, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And neighbors outside, I don't like that. Check out my Patreon if you're interested, and my Twitter if you're interested. I'll see you in the next one!